My name is Gary DiBianca, and I'm here today to do this webinar for you called Preparing Students for AP Spanish Language and Culture Exam 2020. And to do this, I'm showing you how to use Nuestra, historia, AP, Aprender y preparar as the online platform to help prepare your students during this virtual reality that we're now in. My name is Gary DiBianca. I teach in Pepper Pike, Ohio, which is in the Northeast Ohio, Cleveland area. And my email is there as well as my website. So let's keep going. Y tú puedes hacerlo. You can do it. So today I'm just going to talk briefly about the exam requirements, the new exam requirements as we go virtual and with our testing. We're going to then go over the AP themes and the units 1 through 4, which is what College Board has said will be the content of the test. We're going to understand the platform, or Nuestra historia, Aprender y preparar better. Talk about task 1, the interpersonal speaking, task 2, the presentational speaking, and then I'm going to share a cool feature that our Aprender y preparar text or platform text have. If you want a free trial of Nuestra Historia AP, Aprender y preparar, go ahead and check out vocesdigital.com. And right there, you can sign up and you can have the platform free of charge for the rest of the year for you and your students. So when we developed Nuestra Historia, we developed it with 6 units, and the whole platform is really preparing students for the AP Spanish Language and Culture exam. And it has lots and lots of activities for interpretive reading and interpretive listening, plus all the 4 open-ended free response tasks. The 2 writings, the email and the persuasive or argumentative essay, and the speaking presentation or the cultural comparison, and the simulated conversation. Our units are developed through Unit 1, Familias y Comunidades, Unit 2, La Vida Contemporanea, Unit 3, La Belleza y la Estética. We then have a midterm exam, which reviews all 3 of these units. And then Unidad 4, our 4th one, is La Ciencia y la Tecnología, 5, Desafíos Mundiales, and 6, Las Identidades Personales y Públicas. And then we have a final exam or another practice exam for students to take. Now, during our closure of schools this year, AP or College Board came out and said these first 4 units will be tested or the content on the Spanish Language and Culture Exam 2020. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through quickly what College Board has said about 1 through 4. The beauty of a webinar is you can just hit pause and you'll be able to read that. So I'm not going to spend time reading them. And this information that I'm going to go over will be all from the AP framework and the course framework that was released in 2019. So in terms of understanding, before we go there, the exam, our students are now going to be at home taking this exam. And if your school does happen to open, they can take it in May in your school community. But the exam has been shortened from 6 sections to 2. And the 2 sections that are going to be tested this year are interpersonal speaking, or the simulated conversation, and the presentational speaking, or the cultural comparison. To understand what those are, I'm going to read just the directions. Hopefully you and your students have experienced this before, and you've been preparing them all year long for these tasks. But the interpersonal speaking task is a fast-paced, simulated conversation that tests your listening comprehension and conversational speaking skills. You will be given 5 opportunities to speak, and each time you are expected to respond fully by filling the entire 20 seconds following the prompt. Be sure to familiarize yourself with the theme and cultural cues, your role in the conversation, and with whom you will be speaking as outlined on the script. Keep in mind which register you should use. A conversation with an adult whom you do not know will require more formal language, and an informal chat with a friend or classmate is obviously different. Before you begin, become familiar with the prompts and the outline that guides students or you how to form your responses. And that's the task. It's fast, it's quick. There's not a lot of time to process this. Students are given an outline and they have 1 minute to read the outline, and then they're going to follow what the outline says. So the outline may say, introduce yourself. It may say, answer the question. It may say, answer the question in a positive way. It may say, give a suggestion. It may say, ask for a suggestion. So one way students are going to prepare for this is by learning that vocabulary. I think it's important to prepare them with interpersonal verbs that could be there. Again, using a platform or a text series, you're going to have those words embedded throughout all of our curriculum, for example. The presentational speaking, which is a cultural comparison, I'm going to just read the directions that are from our platform. You will give an oral presentation to your class on a cultural topic. You will have 4 minutes to read the theme of the presentation and prepare it. Now we say theme or the prompt. Then you will have 2 minutes to record your presentation. In your presentation, compare your own community with a region of the Spanish-speaking world that is familiar to you. You must demonstrate your understanding of cultural aspects in the Spanish-speaking world and organize your presentation in a clear manner. And again, these are both tasks that are going to be done at home on a student's device. And College Board tells us, and ETS tells us that students could use any sort of laptop computer or a device like a smartphone or an iPad. You want to be reading more into that. That's not what this presentation is about. I'm just going to talk to you about how you can use our resource of Nuestra Historia AP to help you out. Okay, again, here you have our themes, and I say our. I'm a proud author as part of this text. I was on the team, so I'm a contributing author, and I'm very, very proud of this. It's wonderful, and the team that worked on it, all amazing AP teachers throughout the country, putting this together for you. So I'm sharing like our success with you because it's a wonderful product. So now we're going to talk about then the AP units that College Board has set out. And again, you're going to have the advantage of just pausing this and reading through this because I don't need to read it to you. But the first one is Families in Different Societies. And I've included here, which again, I have taken these from the AP Spanish Language and Culture course and exam description from the course framework, page 27, College Board 2019. You can find all of this right on the Spanish Language and Culture exam site from College Board and AP. Gives you the essential questions, the suggested themes, and recommended context. And when we wrote Nuestra Historia AP, we used the same recommended context in our platform, in our book. The next one, Unit 2, was the influence of language and culture on identity. These are still the same 6 AP themes and sub-themes that were there prior since the 2014, I believe, shift of the lens of the AP exam. These units are suggested units and how they are showing like a cross-cultural experience or a cross-experience of the themes. That's not how we set up the text, although we are constantly making links with other themes throughout each unit and theme. The third one is the influences of beauty and art. And again, hit pause and you can read everything that I have there. And the fourth is how science and technology affect our lives. And now what I've done for this presentation is I am showing you the links amongst these two. So I have taken everything that we have in Nuestra, historia, AP, Aprender y preparar, and I am linking it to the units. So here's my information for you, and I'll break this slide down. The numbers in orange refer to the units above. These are, again, the College Board recommended units, but what they've told us is out of the 6, these are the 4 content areas that could be on the test this May. The circles then refer to interpersonal speaking and simulated conversations that we have in this unit in our text. And then the purple circles are the presentational speaking cultural comparisons. So I have circled those, and then I have numbered. So I'm going to go back to this graphic right here. When you log on to our online platform, and everything is online, the whole textbook and platform for us, which is wonderful because we can constantly update it with anything that is needed or needs to change, or new sources. So it's a great thing instead of having just one book that we buy and we have to keep it for 10 years. So, La estructura de la familia, if we were to click on this, and later on I'll go live and show you the product, you would see here all sorts of interpersonal readings and listenings per that task, and full activities that mirror the AP exam, as well as other activities to build vocabulary and grammar and structure with your students. But number 1, this completely lines up with families in different societies. Las comunidades educativas also. La geografía humana goes to the 3rd unit, influences of beauty and art. So that's how this is set up. So I just want to show you that. And then again, I have highlighted the interpersonal speaking, simulated conversations, and presentational speaking cultural comparisons, so that when you are starting to navigate using our product, you'll be able to see, all right, I need to work on las redes sociales with my students, and there's going to be a presentational speaking that I know I could have and I could assign to my students so they can practice. Again, what I'm not showing you in like my part of the book is I wrote all the pieces about the argumentative essay, and those are still there, and the emails are there. So all of this is embedded in it. But since we're just focused on the May 2020 exam, that's all I'm going to talk about now. This is Unit 2, La Vida Contemporanea. Again, our interpersonal speaking simulated conversation, our relaciones personales, las tradiciones y valores sociales, and then our 2 presentational speakings are la educación y las carreras profesionales y los estilos de vida. Again, you can just hit pause, or you could even print this or do a screenshot of this, and then you'll have this to refer to when you're using our sources. Unit 3, La belleza y la estética. Here we have our interpersonal speaking, la arquitectura, las artes visuales y escénicas, and then the presentational speaking cultural comparison, la moda y el diseño, y el lenguaje y la literatura. An awesome thing that we have done for all of the presentational speaking cultural comparisons is we have provided sources for those to help teach students about, for example, la moda y el diseño in 3 different or 4 different Spanish-speaking communities. So on the exam, they do not get those sources. We know that no sources are given for the cultural comparison, but to teach students and have them prepare, we have provided sources for you for all of our presentational speaking cultural comparisons. Okay, Unit 4, la ciencia y la tecnología. We have our interpersonal speaking, el cuidado de la salud y la medicina y las innovaciones tecnológicas. And then for our presentational speaking, al acceso a la tecnología y los fenómenos naturales. Now, for example, the fenómenos naturales, I did not see this linking with units 1 through 4. That doesn't mean you can't practice it. That doesn't mean students can't practice. But for this presentation, I didn't see a link there, so I did not put a number for you. Continuing on, you have Unit 5, Los Desafíos Mundiales. And we have interpersonal speaking, simulate a conversation, la población y la demografía, los temas económicos. And then presentational speaking, los temas del medio ambiente y el pensamiento filosófico y la religión. The beauty with our platform is students do all recording right through the platform. So they just hit a button and it records. And then we just go on, we log on and are able to grade all of our students or listen to them. You're also able to fill in a rubric, and our rubrics all model the rubrics that College Board uses for the exam. And you can just click, okay, this is a 5 here, this is a 3 here, and it's a 4 here. Voila, and it'll help calculate a grade. And it'll show students exactly what we can do. The other nice thing is you can provide feedback for students by typing, or you can record feedback for them. Okay, in the last unit, Unit 6, las identidades personales y públicas, we have interpersonal speaking, los intereses personales, and las creencias personales. And then our presentational speaking, la identidad nacional y la identidad étnica, and then los héroes y los personajes históricos. So I hope you see how our units go exactly with the themes that we've also chosen, or how their units also, right? And our units. Okay. Just want to give some tips. I'm also an AP grader, and this is, or a reader, and this is what we're looking for when we are grading. And these are some tips for your students. One thing that's different about 2020 is pretty much they've let us know that students can use notes. So this is very, very strange for me as a teacher. But okay, if they could have notes, they could have their vocabulary structures per task there. And throughout the whole platform, we are giving them vocabulary. We are preparing them with the vocabulary they need to successfully complete each task. So that's something that students could keep a list and formulate a list through the next month. They also can have a template, right? You could have the template down. Now, the template's not necessarily important for the simulated conversation because they'll be given the template that they're following. But for the presentational speaking, they could have a template. So I'm going to talk a little bit about each one of these. I'm going to start with the presentational speaking since I just spoke about that template. Their goal, they have to compare a Spanish-speaking region or community and their own community. So they have to understand really, really well how to talk about their community. You have to train your students to do that. That's not something we all just naturally do. Especially our young students, they don't think about their community. They don't think about where they live. They don't think about how their actions affect others or how the actions of others affects them. And now during this COVID experience, maybe we are realizing more how one's actions are affecting others. But that's something you have to train your students to do. So make sure you're working on that. Always use good transition words. Make sure they know them. Again, our platform is going to tell them these are great transition words. These are words of contrast or cause and effect words. It's all outlined for students there through our tutorials, because our tutorials are also helping students understand how to attack each task. Develop and provide details. They need to develop their comments and they need to provide details. I say here, be extra. It's something I kind of embrace. I embrace. Some people will say, hey, as a teacher, you're real extra. All right, I am. And this is when our students need to be extra. Now, they need to be extra within the time frame they're given. They're given 2 minutes, and they want to fill those 2 minutes. They want to go at least in 1 minute and 45 seconds. And being extra, this is the time to do it. They can include personal experiences, which is always wonderful. That gives them something to talk about. It helps them talk in a different tense, maybe. They can talk in the past tense. They can talk about their future, talk in the future tense. Showing a variety of tenses is a real plus on this because that shows their proficiency level. Make sure the students have answered the prompt. It's not just about comparing two cultures. Are they really answering the prompt? And that takes a lot of practice. So be focused on that when you're working with them virtually over the next month. They can use a graphic organizer. We have graphic organizers available throughout the whole program. But what does that mean? So for a presentational 2-minute experience, they should make an introduction, talk about each place and each community that they're going to compare. They should restate the question and the themes in some way that gives meat to their presentation. They should talk about the similarities amongst the two places, then go into the differences. They do want to make sure that they do both. You need to do both similarities and differences. And then you want to wrap it up with a quick conclusion. That's a great way to set them up for success in this task. They want to self-correct and fix errors all of the time. Self-correction shows, oh, I just realized that I made a mistake. I'm realizing right now, for most of the mistakes I'm making in English, and I'm a native speaker of English. Well, when we're talking in our target language or our second language, anyone, if we self-correct, we realize, we fix it, that shows higher proficiency levels than just going on and not self-correcting. Encourage students to use a variety of words and structures and tenses. Again, that shows a higher level of proficiency. Now I'm going to go over to the interpersonal speaking, the simulated conversation. Try to respond to all of the blanks. There will be 5 to 6 blanks. Try to fill the there's 20 seconds. They only have 20 seconds. They want to fill at least 15 seconds. 20 is great, but when it goes beep and they have to stop, they should stop talking. They shouldn't finish what they were trying to say because then they're going to miss the next cue. That is really important to teach them. At the beep, just stop. Listen, because you need to continue that conversation. Again, self-correct and fix errors as much as possible, and then encourage the variety of words and structures. Important for this, again, those interpersonal verbs. Does it say, do they know? Because everything is written in Spanish on the outline. So if it says ask a suggestion, give a suggestion, they need present yourself. They need to have exposure to that. Okay. I said in the agenda, I wanted to talk about this. There's semantic and vocabulary activities that we've included in the platform. So Rebecca Weehee, another fellow Ohioan, added these to our platform, and there's 35 different words that cause confusion for Spanish speakers. And these are so important to teach our students to help them polish and refine their Spanish. So these are in the appendice, and they're called oofs. And I'll show you them later on when I go live. But I wanted to show you these. These you could easily assign to your students from now until the end of May for the exam. And they're going to be able to do a couple, 2 or 3 activities per section. And that's going to help them polish their Spanish. So again, for a free trial of Nuestra Historia AP Aprender y Preparar for the rest of the year, visit vocesdigital.com, or you can email Erin A. That's Erin A at vocesdigital.com. She'll be able to get you set right up. And they have lots and lots of tutorials that you can watch so you understand how to learn the platform. We have to learn, just like when our students, we have to learn the platform, and then we'll be able to articulate what we need to do with our students. And students could watch those tutorials also. My information is up there. Again, it's GaryDiBianca.com. I haven't had a ton of time to write this year, but I have a couple other years of materials there. Maybe during this, a lot of my conferences have all been canceled for the summer. I work at a lot of conferences. So I'll probably be getting on my blog, and that'll be a good push for me to start doing some more work there. My email is Gary.Dibianca@gmail.com. So please reach out to me, ask me any questions you need. Again, I was on a great team that put this together, that put the Aprender y Preparar book together, or platform, because it's really a platform. I think it's fantastic, and I hope you have a chance to try it out today.